So hello everyone, welcome to my newest what if, and kind of, to be honest, my first ever what if. Today this what if will be, what if Naruto was adopted slash raised by a forest clan? So in order for me to do this what if, we're gonna have to talk about the first Hokage a little bit. You know how no one knows really how he got his wood senjutsu, or really how he learned wood sage mode in the first place? Well, we'll have to talk about him and his wood. Pause. He's known as being one of the only few people that doesn't need Hashirama cells, because he's quite literally made up entirely of them to do wood style. And for this to work, we are going to need to make a clan that only Hashirama knew existed and no one else, so we can make sense of this what if. So yeah, I'm not saying that Hashirama was going in there and giving everybody the wet work, you know what I'm saying, put his wood sage mode, but what I'm saying is there were already people there that knew how to, control wood and very much the nature itself, and they taught it to Hashirama, you know what I'm saying, if that makes sense. So you're not just questioning, whoa, how can they just use wood style? Well, they could already do it, and they were the ones who taught Hashirama it. So yeah, that's not really going to come into play until later, but I just thought it would be important for you to know now. So this will take place around the time Naruto was 7 years old, doing all of his crazy little pranks and all that. But in this timeline, Naruto is going to add a little extra spice to his pranks. And let's also say that in this time, he had no friends. He wasn't friends with Shikamaru. The third Hokage didn't really care about him as much as he did the first time, but he still had them in that apartment, still had him with the rent, but the spoiled milk thing was still a thing. So today Naruto thought that this was the day that he would do one of his pranks again, but add a little flair to it. Let's say that this prank was Naruto doing something with the stone faces. Naruto ended up destroying Hashirama's face, but when Naruto was up there, he noticed that the destroyed part of the stone face was very cracked and eroded. Hint, hint. But Naruto messed up bad, and the villagers were really angry with him for it. But Hiruzen saw it as another one of Naruto's attempts for love and acknowledgement, going way too far. They could clean off paint, yeah, but Naruto had destroyed a Hokage's stone face, and that was going to take a while to rebuild. Some of the villagers were not going to let Naruto get away with this one. The villagers started yelling at Naruto, and they started throwing rocks at him too, from the ground, but all of those rocks missed. Naruto tried to defend himself while he stood in the Hokage's mansion. Naruto said himself, "I didn't do it, I swear. The head broke before I could even do what I was going to do at all." Naruto shouted at the villagers, but they wouldn't listen. They believed that Naruto made the story up. They shouted at him. They said names like Freak, Demon, and they even made a new one called Hokage Destroyer. Soon enough, one of the rocks caught Naruto dead in his face, right above the eye. And as soon as he fell back, he caught a glimpse of what looked like someone, a person, hiding behind the stone faces. But he didn't see enough of them before two of the Hokage's guards popped up in front of Naruto with their masks on. Naruto knew what was going to happen to him, so he jumped up and jumped down from the Hokage's mansion, roof by roof, or whatever those wooden pieces are. I assume they're roofs. He hit the ground. Once he hit the ground, he was met by an army of villagers, ready to combo him up like a two-piece with no sauce nor drink. Naruto only had two options. He could get beat by the villagers or the guards. And Naruto chose the third option. My boy hit the dash. Naruto hopped the Hokage mansion and ran around to the village gate, whilst the army of people chased him out of the village. Even when he ran, about 9 people still gave chase to Naruto, not letting him get away with the actions that he did, even if he didn't do it. Naruto ran miles out of the village and lost traction as he went on. Those people kept chasing him and chasing him. They eventually caught Naruto and pinned him down. "Let me go! Let me go!" Naruto repeated helplessly as he tried to explain that he didn't smash up the stone faces for Hashirama. He would never do that. Of course, he wanted to be Hokage, but the villagers didn't care. Some of them were kids who were just happy that they got to beat up Naruto for, quote-unquote, taking their parents and family from them during the attack from the Nine Tails. Naruto had to lay there as he was beaten down mercilessly by these monsters that called themselves villagers. Better yet, humans. Naruto was afraid that this was how his life was going to end. This is how he was going to die, and that even the Hokage, the man who swore to protect him, didn't even attempt to help Naruto in the slightest. Out of character, Naruto decided to try and yell for help, to maybe get some attention from someone out in the woods, hoping that his life would be saved. "Stop, no one's going to come for you," is what one of the adults said as he pulled out a kunai, ready to end Naruto's life. As he brought it down to pierce Naruto's head, his hand got stopped. He tried to bring it back down again, but something rough was holding his arm back. From the woods, someone with a thundering voice yelled, "Are you really picking on a kid?" The man looked around to see the other villagers wrapped in a tree-like substance. He yelled, "Let me go! This kid is a monster. He needs to die." The person walked out of the village with a dark cloak and stood over the man. "So, he's the monster? Seems like you guys are the monsters to me." The person takes off their hood and is covered in red, dark paint. Well, their face is covered in a red, dark paint, Similar to the first Hokages. That face paint. "Are you trying to be the first Hokage or something, you little brat? You little brat?" The person releases the wood, and makes the man drop his kunai as they slam the man onto the ground, knocking him unconscious. Naruto is astonished at how strong this mysterious person is. "Whoa," Naruto says as he watches the girl, I just revealed the gender now, take out the other 7. The one she didn't take out is released from the jutsu. "Go tell your village to leave this boy alone," she says with a commanding voice. The Chunin doesn't listen though, and weaves hand seals before he lets out a roar of fire from his stomach. The girl looks directly at the fireball coming at her. Naruto shouts, "Get out of the..." Before he could finish his sentence, the fireball diminishes and turns to smoke. Naruto looks at the man's legs. As he can see, there is still some wood on his leg. Again. And for anyone who knows, for some reason, wood can really mess with chakra. So, that's what she did. She claps her hands together, and then she yells, "Wood style, root destruction!" As a giant root comes from the ground and grabs the man and slams him onto the ground. She laughs and walks over to Naruto, who's still kind of scared. "Don't worry. Unlike them, I won't bite you." She puts her hand out, and the root from earlier pulls Naruto up to his feet. "Hi, I'm Shima. What's your name?" Naruto hesitates for a second, but he puts his hand out and shakes hers. He says, "I am Naruto Uzumaki." They finish exchanging pleasantries, and she looks at Naruto, and she says, "Wow, you're bleeding bad." She asks him if he wants her to patch him up. Autocorrect, Jesus. But she sees that Naruto was already healing fast due to the Nine Tails. Yeah, that would be great, Naruto says anyway. She brings Naruto over to a rock, and she heals him with some very unorthodox methods. She wraps Naruto's hands and nose in bark. Naruto is confused by this. Before he can ask a question, she puts her hands together and silently says, sorry, I really need to do that. Wood style, deep healing jutsu. Naruto feels tingles. And just like that, his wounds stop bleeding. She wraps a custom-made bandage around the wounds after applying the ointment, and she finishes. There we go, she says as she hops up. She looks at Naruto, and Naruto looks sad. What's wrong? She asked. Naruto looked up, and with tears, he said, I have to go back to my village now, don't I? She put her hand on his, and with a determined look, she says, no, you don't. They're evil people, and they'll hurt you again. She looks at him with a smile and says, I'm going to take you back to my village. She tells Naruto this, and Naruto at first looks kind of confused that she would just take him back so willingly. But then he looks happy. So I don't have to go back to them now? She nods and asks Naruto if there's anything she wants her to get for him from his village. And Naruto says the obvious. Yeah, I do. My special limited edition ramen from Ichiraku Ramen. Naruto tells her what his apartment looks like, number, all the extraness that she's going to need so she doesn't sneak into somebody's house that isn't his. And let's say... Hold on. Okay, yeah. Now I skipped ahead a bit. Naruto tells her what it looks like, and she sneaks back into the village. Okay, I didn't skip ahead. And let's say they didn't have the alarm up yet that they used in the pain arc. So she sneaks into Naruto's house and gets him his ramen and a few extra things. And she dips out back to the forest. She hands Naruto his bag full of stuff, and they head off to Shima's village.